If you want to make a difference and leave a legacy, I would tell you to find a mentor and seek knowledge. Then turn around, find someone else who needs a mentor, and continue to pass the torch. All right, we are on another episode of Pass the Torch podcast. We're here today with Kellie Rene Hall. Kellie is a graduate of the Naval Academy, class of 2014, fellow grad. Kellie reported to San Diego for her first duty station and assignment to her first ship. It was there that her passion turned business developed into a full small business outside of her job in the Navy. Kellie launched her portrait photography business in the fall of October of 2014 and has not looked back. Since starting Kellie Rene Photography, Kellie has photographed over 100 portrait sessions, dozens of weddings from coast to coast, received her business license, and has been featured with 2 showcases. One that's coming up in September 5th. That is awesome. In addition to her full-time employment as a naval officer and photography small business owner, Kellie's competed in Miss Ohio USA last November. That was your first pageant ever. Wow. After being stationed in Columbus, Ohio with her job with the Navy as a human resource officer, an event that was initially intended to just meet friends, Kellie walked away from Miss Ohio USA 2017 as a top 15 finalist and was voted Miss Congeniality by the other 53 contestants. That's awesome. Since competing, Kellie was signed with a modeling agency out of Cincinnati, Ohio, which she balances in addition to her other passions. That is absolutely crazy. You do a ton of different things. I have like 4 things I do, and I think I'm busy. With that, Kellie, welcome to Pass the Torch podcast.
Thank you. I'm very excited to be here. I love it.
Excited to have you. That was a full bio, and with that, you can add anything you want, and just tell us your why for getting into, first of all, Naval Academy, the military, and then now your businesses and the world of entrepreneurship as a whole.
Well, the Naval Academy really was just an overall reflection of where I knew I wanted to take my life, and I knew I wanted to take the hardest route. I didn't want to go on the easy path. And you, as a fellow Navy Academy grad, you understand that's not the easiest path.
No.
For the Naval Academy, graduate, commission, go into the fleet.
Yeah.
When I was looking at different universities, I was being recruited to run. I knew I could have had fun at any other school, but 5, 10, 15 years down the road, I probably would have always looked back and wondered what if I got to the Naval Academy.
Yeah.
Where would that have taken me? So I knew little 17-year-old self was like, yep, that's it, period. That's where you need to go. And at the time, and even going through the Naval Academy, I thought a naval career was it for me. I was like, okay, I'm going to be an officer for a minimum 5 years. I'm going to do the best I can do as a leader. And then as soon as I got into the fleet, I was like, no. Certain opportunities are presenting themselves. Like, should I take it? Should I not? I probably should just focus on my career as a naval officer. It's not really heard of. They can balance all these other things. Sometimes the stigma can mean that you're not as committed or as dedicated if you are, outside of the military juggling all these different activities. And then, photography kind of just fell into my lap. I decided to splurge, buy a really nice camera. I'd always been into photography since I was about 7th grade. And then instead of just buying any other camera, I was like, no, invest in your passion. Just buy the nice camera. And so I did. I started taking pictures of my friends, begging my roommates, begging my friends on the ship, let me photograph you. And then, from one portrait session to the next, before I knew it, I had gotten, requests from all over Southern California to do portraits. And I was like, oh my goodness, I think
Yeah,
You know,
definitely.
I can't manage all these requests on my own. I need to have a website. I need to have an email. And from there, just my business kind of took off. Um, I met someone excellent as a mentor, a fellow photographer in San Diego,
Mm-hmm.
and he just kind of made me realize that you can do it. You can manage your photography career and your job inside the Navy.
Yeah.
And then similarly, the Miss Ohio and the pageant, the modeling fell into my lap again. I moved to Ohio and I thought, you know, how should I make friends? I don't know a soul in Columbus.
Yeah.
You know, I'm single, and so I don't have any children. I need to get out there. But as a 24-year Navy brat veteran, I know what it's like to have to make friends.
Yeah, definitely.
So I just decided to do the pageant on a whim, and the opportunities that have come from it since then have been insane. So there's been this consistent theme of these opportunities come my way, and now I've learned, don't question it. Just go for it. You know, don't be hesitant. Don't think what if. Just invest your time in it and see where it takes you. And so far, that's really paying off.
Definitely. What's your favorite part of being a photographer? It seems like when you're a photographer, you get to kind of see different sides of people, and you really are led into a part of their life. But what's your favorite part as far as that journey goes?
Well, I'd say when I started out, it was very much a selfish passion.
No.
I love improving. I love just photographing anything I can get my hands on. And then now I realize it really is more of a selfless sort of passion. You have to make your clients comfortable. If you don't kind of put them and what they want and their needs first, the photo's not going to come out the way that you want or they want.
Mm-hmm.
And then through now 3 years of doing photography almost full time, I've loved the empowerment that it's given other people. Women who don't normally feel beautiful, I photograph them, and when they look at pictures, they're like, wow, I've never felt that confident before. Or even during a photo shoot, you know, I just try to make them all feel like models and get them out of their shell, and their experience is just so much better because they think that with me they feel really relaxed. And so seeing people come out of their shell, feel more confident, if there's just this sort of element that photography can bring out to people, and that was completely unexpected. So that's definitely my favorite part now.
Oh, that's awesome. And you're busy. I know how, and especially like I just talked to Brad Bishan yesterday, and whenever I talk to especially military officers in their active duty, I know they're busy. So how in the world are you balancing the photography in everyday life as a naval officer?
Well, I think it helps that I don't look at it as a job.
Yeah.
I think when you refer, you know, even just mentally, before like something to work, you have a tendency to put it off, or to not completely invest your heart, body, mind, soul into it.
Mm-hmm.
And photography has never been work for me. It's genuinely something that I love to do. It just turned out that some people get to do it full time, and then you know, can live off their, you know, their rent money from photography, and that's great. But for me, it's never because of money. It's never been about booking gigs or anything like that. It's genuinely because I love working with people. So every time a client reaches out to me, I have to figure out, okay, between my naval officer duties, and trainings, and traveling, and what's left of a social life, where can I fit them in? And I end up getting booked out really far in advance just because I have to fit it into all that crazy schedule. But it's such a priority for me. I will always make time to fit in those photo sessions. It's the way that I unwind, it's the way that I relax, and thank God for Google Calendar, or else I'd probably keep it straight. But it's just about making time for what you love. Really, all it comes down to it.
Definitely. What would be like your dream photography session? Location, people, whatever you have.
backdrop. I don't need to be on an island. I don't need to be with Gigi Hadid. Like, I just need original, excited, you know, beautiful people on the inside and out to photograph, and that makes me happy. It's perfect.
So you're more geared towards the like photography of people, not of scenery and landscape and stuff like that, or?
Yeah, I think it's about what drives that passion, what gives you that energy. For me, it's people.
Yeah.
I don't think of myself as the world's greatest photographer, but when I see someone, like if I see a woman, I think, wow, I would love to photograph you.
No.
Because I know what it will do for her. I know as soon as she sees the pictures, as soon as she posts them on social media, she'll never feel more confident, you know, in that moment. And so it's just always been portraits. I started out focusing more on weddings, but weddings, although incredible to be a part of, and you get to really experience a special day with someone, it's not quite the same as just focusing on the person. You know, not necessarily the moment, but that person. It's really incredible.
No, that's awesome. The power of photography is just, it's amazing. And just like you said, when you look back at the picture and you see you see yourself a way that you never thought possible. That's transformational.
Yeah, exactly. And as soon as I realized that was kind of happening, probably didn't even think about it until almost 2 years ago, a year and a half ago. Like, I think I'm onto something here.
Yeah.
I get a really good reaction from people after I photograph them. And it's not just, oh, I love your pictures to put on a Christmas card. It's a really great snapshot. It's not about being posed or about matching outfits. It's just about them. It's just about like radiating beauty that they didn't know that they had and capturing that. It's really awesome.
If I'm a new photographer and I know I'm an amateur, I love taking pictures, but I don't know where to start, what would you tell me?
Well, I was that person.
Yeah.
And
you're not anymore. You're definitely not anymore.
Not anymore.
Yeah.
I was that person, and I met a guy named Grant Bender, Grant Bender Photography in San Diego. I walked into his studio with my brand new camera that I didn't know how to use, and I said, "Oh, you're a photographer. I want to be a photographer."
Yeah.
And he said two things. He said, take pictures of everything. You need to not just learn how to use your camera, but you need to learn how to use light, how to use, your scenery settings, how to turn people, things like that. Just take pictures of everything and then look at them. And, you'll start to learn, like, why is that picture better than the other one, And I was like, oh, take pictures of everything. That's bad advice. No, it's so true. Because now I look at the photos I took 3 years ago compared to the one I did now, and it's so easier for me to get a good product now because I'm very familiar with what will work and what looks good, and that just comes from practice. The other thing that I did, the second piece of advice he gave me was come tag along with me. He's like, I will put you to work, hold a scrim, carry my camera bag, watch me work with clients. And at first I was like, oh, sure, he wants free labor. No, the man taught me everything I know, everything. And I've never to this day sat down and taken a photography class since launching my business.
Yeah.
I've never watched tutorials on YouTube. I never read a photography book. And it's all been because he mentored me. He just let me follow him. I was just a sponge. I learned, and I would see his work and just get so inspired by it. And you need to take pictures of everything and find someone whose style that you love and try to learn everything that you can from them. That's really the best way to go about it.
That is too cool. That's awesome. He gave you his time, but you were passionate about it, and you were willing to give your time back and follow and do that, and that showed you were just as invested as he is in photography as well.
Right, exactly. And what's crazy is continue to live on. So he just was passing on his legacy to me, a young blossoming photographer after he had been in the business for 20 years.
Yeah. What's like your favorite part? Again, kind of getting to the mentor, watching him in action. Like, what do you see that kind of stands out to you?
Oh, it was completely working with people.
Yeah.
He told me something, I think, probably one of the first weddings that we went to together. He said, Kelly, I'll be completely honest. This is all you need to know. If people like you, they will like your pictures. And I was like,
Yeah.
nah. Like, if my pictures suck, they'll hate me. Like, no. And he was like, no, genuinely, if people, there's something about you being, friendly and kind and honest and being a great person to work with. They fall in love with the experience and not necessarily just the photos. But if you're dry and unpersonable and have nothing to offer for the experience, then the weight is completely in just the pictures, hopefully you deliver as a photographer. And so I think that's what has carried through my experience so far as a small business owner. I work out of my apartment. I don't have an office. My camera is the same camera that I bought 3 years ago, and I don't have a camera bag full of thousands of dollars of equipment.
Yeah.
But I do have the ability to connect with my clients, to hold a conversation. Those clients are people that I'm Facebook friends with now, and I follow their lives on Instagram. They're families that I met them when they were engaged, and now I'm photographing their newborns. Like, you just can't beat that. And I'm so happy that he helps me focus on the personal connection and what photography can do. And I watched him become friends with his clients, because that's really what it's about.
Yeah.
It's about the people, and it's not just about making money. It's not about just art. There's so much more to this art form than just that.
Well, anyone who's listening to that, they can absolutely get started with that 100%, and that will take them, I already know, far. It just seems like you're huge on discovery. That's the big foundational thing, is just keep going and discover.
Completely. And no one's ever really really put it that way before. That's completely what I'm about.
Yeah.
Just be where these opportunities take you, and you'll be surprised.
Definitely. Well, we already know you're a talented photographer. We're gonna transition into the world of now people looking at you, and that goes into modeling and Miss Ohio. Tell us how you got involved in those worlds.
Again, by accident.
I like it.
I think that is what has helped me with these certain passions.
Yeah.
Is I didn't start out thinking like, oh, I want to be a model. X, Y, Z. What do I need to do to become one?
Yeah.
I just kind of fell into it, and then, like you said, that road to discovery. Discovered is something that I love to do. So Miss Ohio, it's the most hilarious journey, because I remember like it was yesterday. I was actually sitting in a hotel room in Pensacola, Florida, awaiting to be stationed in Columbus, Ohio. I was in a school down there. 3 weeks away from landing in a city where I didn't know anybody. And there was a commercial for Miss America. And so I decided to watch it. And while I'm watching Miss America, they just kept mentioning sisterhood.
Yeah.
This experience wouldn't have been the same without these girls. And I was like, what a way to meet beautiful, like-minded, strong, independent women, all in one setting, And
you're a commercial right now.
What I need to do to get involved, I can do that. I think, I can walk on a stage. So I went online right then and there. I'm pretty sure I was still half dressed in my uniform with my bun up. I went online, and there was an application for Miss Ohio USA through the Miss USA system, which is different than Miss America. And their competition was in November, and the applications were still available online. Right then and there, I applied. And so I got an email the next day that said I was accepted.
Wow, nice.
And I was like,
Yeah.
So I applied and I started going through the application process, questionnaires, all that. And then the director of Miss Universe found out that I was in the Navy, which I guess is pretty rare for that system. They don't have a lot of service members go through the Miss USA system. And she told me, hey, I think it's great that you're serving, but you actually need to get approval through your chain of command all the way up to the CNO.
What?
If you're going to compete in Miss Ohio. And I was like, wait,
Okay.
what?
Okay.
And she said, yeah, because if you were to win Miss USA, that's a full-time year-long gig.
The
I was like,
CNO.
crap.
Yeah.
Because that wasn't my intention at all. I just wanted to meet people. And I was like, okay, I was thinking well, maybe if I can't do Miss USA, can I stand behind stage, help out somehow?
Yeah.
Or, anyways, I was nervous because I was 3 weeks away from checking into my command, and the pageant was 6 weeks away. So if you're thinking about the timeline, how am I going to get approval from my commanding officer to be routed up to CNO? Well, this is actually where probably one of the biggest turning points in my life happened so far, and I met one of the biggest mentors in my life today.
Yeah.
I checked into my new command, and my skipper was I was being my skipper for the first time, and I'm sweating because I'm thinking, oh my goodness, I have to ask her for a favor. The day that I check in, I have to say, hey, by the way, I want to do this competition. Is that cool with you? And so I'm so nervous, and she's this commanding officer of a recruiting, command. So she's talking about how I'm young, I'm fresh, I need to bring my new ideas about how to reach out to millennials and my generation to recruiting.
Yeah.
And so I'm sitting there thinking, okay, she must kind of like this actually. And so finally she says, you know what, Lieutenant J.G. Hall, I'm looking at you. You need to break that mold. If that burden is on your shoulders, I want you to break the mold while you are here. And I was like, okay, I'm going to do it. I'm going to tell her. And so I was like, well, ma'am, actually, I need your permission to compete in Miss Ohio USA. She could not have been more excited. She was like, I love this. I want you to do it. There's no one in the Navy that's done it. There's never been a naval officer that's won. 100% you have my support, and things took off from there. I mean, I had the full backing of the Navy up to highest ranking officers who were, I think this is awesome. I love the diversity that it shows. You can be a female in the Navy and compete for Miss Ohio and stand in a ball gown. How incredible is that? And I love that she is such a proponent for, being feminine, being different, really just doing you. It's okay to be different and be in the military. And I never had someone really tell me that before. All of my previous commanding officers were just very by the book, and this is the way the Navy is, and we kind of don't believe it. It's not up for interpretation. Where she was like, the world is your interpretation. Go for it. Be that difference. So I think without that support of my command, without my commanding officer, there's no way I would have gone into Miss Ohio, and I would have made top 15. And the publicity that's come from it, the people that have reached out since, it's just absolutely overwhelming, and I feel incredibly blessed.
That is an insanely good story, going all the way to the top of the highest levels of the United States Navy. I'm just like, what in the world? I would love to see that paper. Yes, exactly. Discovery at every level. So your CO sounds, your skipper sounds absolutely amazing, and that is necessary, I think, at the higher levels of leadership now, especially with this young generation, our generation.
Right.
Coming up, either they are going to have to learn to understand how we work and that we are multifaceted, or they're going to lose us forever. Cause,
right, completely.
Yeah.
Yeah, generations and how we function.
Mm-hmm.
And some people are getting on board with it, and others are pushing back. But I've received quite a bit of pushback too. You know, not everybody is, I'd love to say that everyone's 100% supportive and they love what I'm doing, and they see, you know, my headshots on Instagram for modeling, or they see my involvement with Miss Ohio USA, and they think it's awesome. That's definitely not always the case.
Yeah.
But the haters will always be louder than the lovers.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Absolutely.
people will try to bring you down, and I have had the right people placed in my life to show me and mentor me and tell me, don't listen to it. You know, keep doing you. You are on the right track. What you're doing is not wrong. It's just different, and you have to be okay with that. So mostly I've listened to them, and not the wrong people.
Yeah, what you're doing is definitely not wrong, and there's always people watching. There's obviously negative people who are, they're going to be loud, but I'm just going to be blunt, they don't matter. And the people who support what you're doing, and then the ones that are, you're their example. And that's what a lot of Mentorch is about, and passing the torch is about, is because we started out at ground zero, and now we're starting to build our own businesses. You're starting to build your photography business. You're doing great things in the Navy. You're doing modeling and participated in Miss Ohio and top 15. Like, that's incredible. And none of this would have happened if you said, nope, I got to do the traditional route, or no, I shouldn't get out of my lane. And I think that's tremendous. That's awesome. And now you're able to serve as an example for anyone, including me. I'm not in the photography world. I'm not in the modeling world. And I think that's really awesome, and it's inspiring for me to watch and witness. So I'm really, really excited I get to see this in action.
It's neat because my intention was never to foster, public eye, or I never wanted the publicity that certain things have come from my involvement with Ohio.
Yeah.
That's not why I did it. But now it's turning me so much more because I see how it has empowered other females. I receive random messages from female naval officers who I've never met, or Instagram, messages from women I've lost touch with. They say, hey, I just want to let you know you are inspiring me.
Yeah.
Because of you, I'm looking to pursue a small business. Or because of you, I'm not afraid to be super feminine in the military.
Yeah.
That is just kind of what keeps me going, because there are some days when I think, man, it would be so much easier if I just blended in.
Yeah.
It would be so nice. Or, I have moments of laziness where I think, man, tonight I don't want to write contracts for clients, or maybe I don't want to edit. But then I think, this is what I love to do. It's not a burden, it's a blessing.
No.
And so, although watching Bachelor in Paradise might sound better at that moment, like, I have a job to do, and people are counting on me.
Yeah.
And I gotta keep it up, because if I'm not keeping it up, who will?
Absolutely.
So yeah, it's been awesome.
And that's the hard part, is the consistency, because we can do it for a few days and then we fall off, and I want people to understand that, especially I'm speaking for myself now, but you can talk about it if maybe sometimes that's the case for you too. But there's a day where I might not do what I'm supposed to do, and I recognize it, and I'm like, okay, tomorrow I will get back on track, and you get back on track, and you keep going. Like, you're going to fall off sometimes, and that's okay, as long as you recognize it and get back to work later on.
Exactly. And we're all human.
Yeah.
I think that's why even just scheduling out photography sessions, photo shoots for clients, I can't tell you the last time I scheduled one on a Friday.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, Fridays are for me. Fridays are the days that I meet up with my friends, I unwind, I socialize, I finally put on a dress and heels and get to be myself. So I'm like, photo shoots over the weekends, I will do it then. And it's that balance that has kept that fire.
Yeah.
It's not, you're not doing it for you anymore. And so anytime I feel even slightly overworked, I put my camera down and say, no, I'm not booking one out for another month. I will take a hiatus and just, do me for a little bit and do whatever I need to do. And
tell me about the mentors in your life that have contributed to you being as accomplished as you are now. And if it wasn't mentorship, maybe talk about how you were able to do it without mentorship.
Well, first and foremost, I never saw this as mentorship because you're just a kid.
Yeah.
But I always had parents who supported me, and they were the yes people. They were, yes, go to the Naval Academy, yes, move to San Diego. You want to do Miss Ohio? Sounds great, we'll be there. And I think from there, I derived just being a supportive person. And that's helped me support other people. So I never thought growing up that they were mentors, but now I rely on them, more than anyone else.
Yeah.
And then I had my mentor in photography, Brand Bender, who completely changed my life, changed my business. Then I met a woman out. She's from South Carolina. She was actually the sister of a guy who I didn't meet on my first shift, but he served on my shift.
Yeah.
And when I posted about doing Miss Ohio, he said, hey, reach out to Erica. And so I did. She was a former Miss South Carolina USA and former winner of Miss South Carolina through the Miss America system. So a two-time South Carolina champion,
Yeah.
pretty much.
Yeah.
And I gave her a call, on a whim. Like, you know what? Why not? I'll give her a call and see. This woman changed my entire pageant experience because she was like, hey, have you been doing this? Have you been thinking about this? Have you been, reading up a newspaper, listening to TED Talk? How do you feel about this? And I was like,
Wow.
I don't know. And he was like, well, you need to be walking here. You need to be doing this. What does your dress look like? What does your bathing suit look like? Nope, don't wear your hair like that. I promise everyone will wear it that way. And I was just blown away because I had no prior pageant experience.
Yeah.
And I could actually walk in and feel confident that I knew a tiny bit of what to expect.
Definitely.
Again, she just did this out of the kindness of her heart to help me out. And now, I'm for sure going to do Miss Ohio this year again for 2018.
Yeah.
And I just got off the phone with her the other day while I was, driving from Cleveland or, Cincinnati, all over the state of Ohio for recruiting. And she, again, was like, okay, how do you feel about this policy? Let me know. Have you gotten your dress for this? What are you doing to prepare yourself mentally, emotionally? And I was like, I don't know. I haven't thought about it. And she's like, well, you can get with the program, Kelly. And having no background in pageants or friends prior to last year's Miss Ohio, who was at pageant, she was my absolute saving grace.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So Erica Grace Powell just, every little bit of my success last year was contributed to her because all in all, everyone who was up for Miss Ohio USA is fantastic. They all are pursuing higher education, going for a PhD, teachers, nurses, doctors. So the fact that I was a naval officer was great, but that wasn't everything. You have to be polished. You have to stand tall. You have to know how to have a stage presence and really stand out on stage. And she helped me with that completely. Couldn't be more grateful for her. And then I'll be skipper through military. Commander Bebop. She's a fellow human resources officer. At any time I start getting off the beaten path just a little bit, she's like, Kelly, we gotta get you back on track. You need to be studying for this certification, taking these orders. What's your progress on this? And just continuously humbles me because when I think I'm doing a good job, she reminds me that I can be doing better. I'm like, okay, ma'am.
No, that's awesome.
Get that. Which is great. I need that all the time. And then, like I said, lastly, I have my family support, and they're just continuously mentoring me and humbling me. And reflecting on all of that, everything that everybody else has done for me, it makes me want to continuously give back to, more specifically females. I talk to a lot of women. I try to push them to maximize their potential. And I've seen even a little bit of progress being made, even since being in Ohio with women that I met in the pageant or met being here in Woman. And it makes me realize how powerful it is just to have someone believe in you.
Yeah.
Nobody else does. Maybe you believe in yourself, but you need that reassurance that you're not completely crazy, that you are doing the right thing.
100%. And that network, and that's, there's mentors who, they've been there, done that. There's also peer mentorship, and it's powerful when you're surrounded by people who, they're like-minded, and they can give you that feedback. So definitely, I get it.
Yeah, exactly.
If I'm someone who's looking at you and I'm like, man, this woman is a naval officer, a photographer in her own right. She models and she's already participated in Miss Ohio and done great. And I say, how can I get her to mentor me? What would you say to them, and what would be like the expectation for that relationship?
I think if someone reached out to me, it definitely depends on what capacity. I've had people, how to start a small business, and I will give them a laundry list. Say, okay, you want to start a small business? This is what you do. And then maybe this isn't everything, but it's a start. And if I'm feeling like I can't be myself, like I am in a profession that does not exude originality, or maybe being different is negative or something like that. I'm like, okay, you want to hear about being original and facing adversity? Take a seat. How long do you have?
Yeah.
Because guess what? It's not going to be easy, honey. It's not always going to be fun. It's not always going to be smiles. There's been tears. There's been many tears where I felt like I was doing something wrong, but the outcome that comes from that is so worthwhile.
Yeah.
If I had someone specifically come to me regarding any one of those facets that I'm involved in, I'd be more than willing to help them. And remember that, community over competition. We have to help each other. We have to set, each other on the right path and give each other the right tools. Because really, at the end of the day, we're not here to compete with each other. We're here to build each other up.
That's awesome. And anyone who's listening now, you can reach out to Kellie, and you
always reach out.
You know exactly what you need to do in order to make that mentorship relationship work. So, no, that's awesome. I love it.
To work. That's the most important part.
Yeah.
Nothing will ever be handed to you.
There we go.
By any means, it will not be handed to you. But
already listen to your story. No one can come to you and say, oh, I have to do this work, because just listening to how you're following your mentor around and not carrying things and making sure everything's set up, I'm like, nope, no sympathy at all.
No sympathy. You have to sometimes just strap on your big girl shoes and go for a wild ride. Guess what? It's worth it.
That's it. So what's a key resource that you use that contributes to your success, whether it be book, an organizational program, anything? What do you use to help you out?
Well, for me, it's all about time management and priorities, right? Prioritizing. I think you need to figure out a system that works for you. For me, it's Google Calendar. I used to have both a written agenda and a Google Calendar agenda that consolidated into one. But just understand
Definitely. I like it. What is... Yeah, we're gonna go there. What's the biggest obstacle you've ever faced in your life? And if it was helped with a mentor, we can talk about it. Or if not, just tell us how you got through that, how you overcame it.
The biggest obstacle I've ever been through was by far dealing with bullies on social media.
No.
This happened last year as soon as I basically let it be known that I was competing in Miss Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
Again, initially, I wasn't going to tell anyone. I wasn't going to tell the Navy. That's not what it was about. But someone found out that I was competing, and they leaked it online. They shared my contestant profile on Facebook, and basically had something not very nice to say about me, and was like, oh, like, big things naval officers are up to these days, and had posted my contestant profile. So, I received a phone call from one of my great friends who, is not in Ohio, across the country. She said, hey, Kellie, just an FYI, this is what was just leaked online, and that's your picture, and I guess you're doing Miss Ohio. I think that's really cool, but some people on, the internet are kind of blowing it up. Mm-hmm. Well, within 24 hours, this thing had like 30-something comments on it, was shared multiple times. Within 48 hours, my skipper had been notified. Because it has leaked to so many different sources and naval officers that one person from another had found out that I was in Ohio and who my boss was and said, hey, you have a sailor and this is being, shared all over social media. You should probably tell her to take it down and wait for like a more formal public affairs release that she's doing this.
Yeah.
People online said things like, this is not what a naval officer should be focusing her time on. She's not pretty enough to represent the Navy. She's not qualified enough as a naval officer to represent the Navy. She was not the nicest person on the ship. Just things like that. And, I ended up not reading the comments. My friends, they shared some of the stuff through aggravation. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But I remember sitting on my couch, and I was a month out from the pageant at this point. Mm-hmm. Again, none of this was my intention. I didn't want people to find out about it. I didn't want this big public affairs talking point memorandum being sent out about my involvement in Miss Ohio. Yeah. Genuinely just wanted to do it to meet people. And I realized there, I was sitting on the couch, that I had a choice to make. I could either listen to all of them. Mm-hmm. Maybe naval officers shouldn't do Miss Ohio. Maybe I'm not the most decorated naval officer to represent the Navy, even something with this big of a platform. Maybe I should be spending my time on things that are more, Navy serious, or, invest in things that would make me more conservative. I'm not sure, but then I also realized if I don't do it, then who else is going to? If I know in my heart why I wanted to do it. Yeah. And that my intentions were really good. I also know that my journey with the Navy has been difficult, but I still think that I would be a good representation of someone, in a pageant to represent the Navy. And so I realized that in there, this is all about just being confident with your decision, secure with yourself. And that was that moment where I could have either faltered or moved forward. And I said, okay, I'm going to do it, and I'm just going to own it. And that was the moment where I know for a fact I could have just listened to everyone vision was being challenged, and it very well could have listened to them, but I didn't.
No.
And now that I'm almost a year out from that decision, I cannot believe the sort of positive impact that I have made by doing that, or the people that I've touched who, commend me for being, original and for sticking true to what I believe in, and just kind of like just owning this role that I decided to pursue. It's been incredible.
No.
And I shared that story with many other people who dealt with cyberbullies too. People are mean. They're really mean. But like I said, the haters will always be louder than the lovers.
Mm-hmm.
And the amount of people that have backed me up and supported me, it's been absolutely incredible. And it's made me realize just how big of a network of support I actually do have.
Absolutely. And like we were talking about before, for some reason, haters just have the loudest voices. But again, you don't have to say it. I'm going to say it. They don't matter. And whoever those comments, whoever they were, they're punks. I don't care. Because that's their hate. That's what when I finally realized, like, haters hate. And that's their job. So for me to get frustrated and angry and derailed, like, all I was doing was slowing my process down. And they win when they do that. And I'm glad they have not won with you. I'm glad that you kept going forward, and because other people get to enjoy and be inspired by your example. And if those haters won, that wouldn't be possible. So really glad that you're fighting on.
Thanks. Thank you. If one person is impacted in a positive way, then it's a win for me.
Well, you got a whole bunch of people inspired, so you've already won a long time ago.
Oh, I hope so. That's what I'm hoping for, and that's why I decided to do it again.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be a one-time thing.
Mm-hmm.
I was never planning on going back to Miss Ohio. I made a ton of friends. Some of my best friends, actually, most all of my best friends in Ohio are pageant girls.
Yeah.
I met them all through the system, but the response that I got, the support, Kelly, you have to do it again. You don't know how much you inspired me, or just the simple fact that when I went to the pageant last year, I want to say with confidence, 95% of the contestants, there was 54,
Mm-hmm.
I'd never met a naval officer before, or
That's
anyone in the Navy.
It's huge.
And then much less a female naval officer who was competing in Miss Ohio. I love opening that scope and being like, yes, I'm in the Navy. We're not robots. We're real people.
You're not Demi Moore and G.I. Jane. Like, that's how everybody is in the Navy.
Exactly. So that's why I'm doing it again.
Yeah.
And Big Navy, they've caught wind of my involvement,
Mm-hmm.
and it's nice that they're kind of recognizing me for that originality and promoting that. It's been a bit overwhelming, but it's at the end of the day a chance to make a difference, and to promote what I believe in, and hopefully inspire other people.
That's awesome. Talking about inspiration, what's like your mantra or a poem or a short passage that keeps you inspired every day, especially when you have to deal with the haters and the negativity, but it keeps you at the place that you need to be?
I think probably on the days when I'm the most tired,
Mm-hmm.
or I think, I really should not get involved in another project,
Yeah.
or do I want to sign up for or pursue this potential career with this modeling agency? That would be another thing to add to my plate.
Mm-hmm.
I saw this quote once that tired or when I realize I've taken on a little bit too much. I just don't want to end up in a position where someday when I'm 45, I think, man, I really didn't maximize my potential. So I'm just looking at that constantly.
Yeah.
Constantly. I just want to maximize my potential and really encourage other people to do the same.
Definitely. And you've made a decision, and that's the hardest part. Is you think about it, but once you make that decision to do it and just go, there's no stopping you. And you're
There's no
already
stopping. I know. It's just a crazy ride.
there. Yeah.
When you finally just are like, nope, I'm going to do this.
Yep.
I'm going to be all that I can be. It's not easy.
Yeah.
It's not an easy task. It's a lot of work, but just got to go for it.
Love it. Love it. We've reached the final portion of our show. That went pretty quick. We're at the Pass the Torch portion. Torch holders, we've arrived at the time in our program where our guest has 1 minute to pass the torch and leave a legacy. We all know that a mentor is a person who's achieved a level of success that we desire and can effectively guide us to success as well. Based on the success you, Kellie, have achieved at this point in your life, if you could pass the torch and leave a message to your former self or anyone in a similar situation, how would you pass the torch in 1 hot minute?
Probably more than a minute. Carrying a pretty big torch over here.
Yeah?
Always believe in yourself. Don't count on others to believe in you, because you don't know if they will. You don't know if you're always going to have that support. But then guess what? You'll find out later that people do believe in you. Nothing that I have done so far in my career or my small business or the pageant or anything like that was the idea of another person. It all came from me. It all came from my heart. It all came from my willingness to maximize my potential. If I didn't have that fire ignited in myself initially, or believe that I could do it, I never doubted myself in any of these situations. I thought, yes, let's do it. Let's own a business, or let's do Miss Ohio, or what do I need to do to, pursue a modeling contract?
Mm-hmm.
Then the fact that I had other people believe in me was just the icing on the cake, and that has helped me just achieve smooth sailing since then. We have that support garnered around you. So never stop pushing yourself. Maximize your potential always. Empower each other.
Yeah.
Don't judge someone for doing something different. Be excited about the opportunities they're taking and a chance they're taking on themselves. It's incredible. And as soon as you start really pursuing your passions, you're chasing life, and that's what it's really all about. It's awesome.
Poof! There you have it. Another episode of Pass the Torch podcast. A bunch of awesome value provided by the amazing Kellie Rene Hall. You are watching Pass the Torch podcast, and Levante and Kellie are reminding you to seek knowledge and pass the torch.
Yes.